Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make this super fun Rice Krispies treat animation with some 3D models that I created in Polycam. Now, if you don't know what Polycam is, might I suggest you pause this video and head over to my main channel to see part 1 of this series where I try out the Polycam app. I will link to it down below. But if you already know what Polycam is, or you just want to see me have fun in Apple Motion and you don't care about Polycam, stay right here for this really fun tutorial. Now, as a reminder, all of the subscribers to my Patreon get access to all of my working files. So you're going to get my 3D models and my motion project for this tutorial, plus a couple of other elements as well. All right, guys, let's just dive right into it. So here we are on the project browser in Motion. I'm going to start a motion project and my presets are 4K, 24 frames per second, and my duration is 10 seconds. I'm first going to start by dragging and dropping this image of the Rice Krispies treats packaging. I have to say, I definitely recommend homemade Rice Krispie treats, and don't microwave your marshmallows. You definitely want to do it old school in the saucepan for best results, but even the store-bought ones are better than nothing. So we're going to be using the branding from Kellogg's to create our animation. So I'm going to drop this image in here. Let's head on over to the library, and I'm going to go to generators and find that color solid. And I'm going to drop it here in my project pane. Now I'm going to head on over to the inspector window and color pick my color solid to match that packaging. And now I'm going to disable that Rice Krispie treat. And I'm going to drag in my two USDZ files here. One of them is the full Rice Krispie treat, and one of them is an image of that same Rice Krispie treat after my husband took a big bite out of it. I'm going to drop them in so they're in one group, and I'm going to rename the group here. And I want to make sure that the Rice Krispie that has the bite taken out of it is on top of the original one. And I can tell because Polycam indicates what time each of these images was captured. Now, before I do anything else, there's a super important step. You need to make this entire project 3D. So I'm going to head up to the top of the screen, add object, and select camera. It's going to ask me, do I want to switch this to 3D? And yes, I do. Now let's draw our attention back to our USDZ files. I'm going to select this entire group in my project pane, head on over to properties, and let's increase the scale to 300%. Now I want to rotate these images around, but I want to make sure I'm focused on the one with the bite. So I don't get confused, I'm going to disable the original full Rice Krispie. And again, still selected on the group level, I'm going to rotate on the y-axis to a value of, let's say 127. That looks good to me. And I'm also going to rotate on the x-axis -6. So we're kind of at a tilt. Okay, now I'm going to enable the full Rice Krispie. And you can see why I had to disable it. It would be hard to tell where the proper angle would be if I had that full Rice Krispie enabled. At this point, I want to do a little bit of color correction to these Rice Krispies. So again, I'm selected at the group level. I'm going to head on up to filters, color, and let's select the color wheels. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball this so they look a little more appetizing. I think they look a little yellow. Now let's head down to the timeline and play with the timing of these guys. I'm going to select the first Rice Krispie treat, and I'm going to change the duration to 110. So I'm going to cue up my playhead to that mark and then hit the O key to trim that up. Now I'm going to take the file that has the bite mark taken out of it, and I'm just going to drag the edge so that it cuts from the full Rice Krispie to the bite version. All right, let's select that original version again in our timeline and head on over to the inspector window under properties. I'm going to add an overshoot behavior to the Y rotation. So I'm just going to hit this drop down to the next of my keyframe here in my rotation menu. And I'm going to select add parameter behavior, and we're going to select overshoot. Let me cue up my playhead to the beginning of the timeline. And on the start value, let's crank this up to 260. The ramp and cycles, I'm going to leave the same. Let me play it back so you can see what it does. And what I'm going to do is lengthen my overshoot past the duration of my actual media. So let's bring it to like 117 here. I kind of want it to still be moving even while it cuts out. Now let's draw our attention to the bite version of our Rice Krispie treat. Again, I'm going to head on over to properties under rotation. Let's add a parameter behavior on the X rotation. Again, we're going to select overshoot. I'm going to cue up my playhead to the beginning of the media here in my timeline. Let's head on over to the Behaviors tab in the Inspector window. On the start value, let's go 5.96. For ramp, we're going to go 2.86. The cycles, we're going to leave at 3. The start offset, we're going to go to 34. And I'm actually going to, in my timeline, change the timing of this behavior as well. I'm going to drag the overshoot all the way to the beginning of my timeline. And then we're going to reduce the end so that the duration is 210. Now I want to add a shadow effect under this Rice Krispie to make the whole thing feel more 3D. So what I'm going to do is head on over to my inspector window on the group level of the Rice Krispie treats. I'm just going to collapse it to leave room for myself. And I'm going to right click and duplicate. And I'm going to rename this group Shadow. And this is important. I want to take my original group and drag it above the shadow in the project pane. Now selected on the shadow group, let's head on over to properties in the inspector window. And I'm going to reduce the position so that it's beneath my original group. I'm going to change the blend mode on this to silhouette alpha, so it's black. And then I'm going to head on over to filters and we're going to add a blur, and I'm going to crank up the amount on this blur to 545. And now the shadow moves right along with our Rice Krispie. And now what I'm going to do is disable both of these groups, and let's add some text. So I'm going to head on over to the text tool and let's type in the word delicious. The font I'm using is called Sauber Script. I think I'm saying that right, but if I'm not, I'm sure you guys will let me know. Let's crank up the size of this font to 800, and I'm going to center up the font as well. And under properties, I'm going to reset the position parameter so it's nice and centered. All right, the next thing I want is for this text to write on. If you've never seen this done, pay attention. If you really want a detailed tutorial, I have already made a video about how to do this. I will link to it down below, but it's pretty simple. All you need to do is grab the paint stroke tool, and you're going to very carefully trace your letters. And the secret to this, guys, is to never let up on your mouse button as you trace. Guys, while I'm tracing these letters, if you like this video, if you feel like you're learning something, do the YouTube thing, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell. All right, so I've got all of my letters traced out. You can see it's not perfect, and that's okay. We're going to fix it in a second. The first thing I'm going to do is increase the width of my paint stroke here. Then I'm going to right-click in my canvas and select the Edit Points option. And then I'm going to zoom in real close on my screen and just tweak these points so that all of my white letters are covered by my paint stroke. So I'm pretty well covered here, but I do see that at certain points, no matter how much I changed my edit points, I'm never going to cover the letters, so I'm going to crank up the width even a little more. The trick is to be only as wide as you need to be and not a millimeter more. All right, there we go. My paint stroke has covered all of my letters. Now I'm going to reduce the duration of this paint stroke by grabbing it and dragging it to the 1 second mark. So now it writes on over just the course of the duration of 1 second. It's going a lot faster. Next, we're going to select the delicious text in our project pane, head on up to Object at the top of the UI, and we're going to select Add Image Mask. So we've got an image mask applied to our text, but if we look in the project pane, there is no mask source. I'm going to grab the paint stroke from my project pane, hold down my mouse key as I drag it into that well, and now my text is writing on. Now let's add a stroke to the outside of this text. So I'm going to make sure I'm selected on it on my project pane, head on over to Filters, we're going to go down to Border, and we're going to select Stroke. And it already has this red outline on it, but I want to make sure I get the exact right red. So I'm going to enable our Rice Krispie treat packaging here, and I'm going to color pick the red from the Kellogg's logo. Now I'm going to disable that Rice Krispie treat again. Now in my timeline, I'm going to cue up my playhead to where the bitten Rice Krispie treat starts, and I'm going to start my stroke at the exact same point. Now selected on the stroke filter, on the width, I'm going to crank it all the way down to 1. And then again on the width line, let's drop down here and select an add parameter behavior. And again, we're going to select overshoot. I'm going to make the end value on this guy 29. The ramp, I'm going to change to 3.21. At this point down in my timeline, I'm going to select the overshoot behavior and align it with the stroke filter. And to make that action happen faster, I'm going to change the end offset to 201. All right, let's enable our Rice Krispie treat layers to see where we need to move things around a little bit. Obviously my text needs to come up, so to change that, it's really important that you select not just your text, but the paint stroke as well. I'm selecting them both by holding down the Command key as I select both layers in my project pane, and then I'm going to raise these guys on the Y position. I think I'm also going to select the Rice Krispie treats group and bring these guys down just a hair. I'm going to enable my packaging here. I'm going to shrink it down in the lower left corner, and I'm actually going to drag it on top of everything in my project pane. And I'm going to add a little bit of a drop shadow to this guy as well, just to make it pop. And of course, this project would not be complete without some fun sound effects that I grabbed off of Storyblocks. So let me first close up my keyframe editor and enable my audio timeline. And then let me drag these guys in right into my timeline. This first one is a whoosh sound effect for when the Rice Krispie treat is spinning. And then the second one is like a biting sound. I'm also going to speed up this whoosh sound effect. I think it could happen a little faster. So I'm going to select it in my timeline, head on over to Properties, Show Timing, and let's speed it up to 200%. So there you go. There is a 3D animation I created using a 3D model I created with my iPhone and Polycam 3D. Pretty amazing. A reminder, all of the subscribers to my Patreon get access to all of my files. I will link to it down below if you want to check it out. Thanks for hanging out with me. I picked out some other videos for you. I'll see you again.